We have Chef Francesco back in the house today. So exciting.
Hello.
Yeah. And what are you making today?
So I'm making chicken and shrimp pad thai. So it is a very good street food that a lot of people enjoy in Thailand there. So it's pretty simple, very basic ingredients. So I have chicken roasting right now that I put some garlic and ginger and a little bit of green onions. You can use scallops if you want. I had green onions, so I ended up using the green onions. You use what you have, a little bit of fresh ginger. You can always use powdered ginger if you want. So I'm kind of cooking the chicken right now. So I'm just gonna bring the heat down just a little bit. And the main sauce, the main thing about Thai food, it's the Asian culture, right? So you have that five elements, for example, of the balance of the salty, the sweet, the sour, the spicy, and the bitterness. So yes, it is great chicken, shrimp, and everything like that, but it's also about the sauce. So I'll be using this sauce that I just prepared a few minutes ago when I'm going to combine all these things together. A lot of people, you you don't they don't like too much of the fishy sauce, okay? Because it does include 4 tablespoons of fish sauce. I use 2 to 3. My girls don't like the fish sauce too much because it is pretty um, a very particular taste, right? 3 tablespoons of rice vinegar. Remember, we used some rice vinegar last time. So all the ingredients I have are reused. Also, 2 tablespoons of sugar. I use 1 tablespoon of honey, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. You can mix and match however you like it. You use what you have, and it makes it great. So before I continue the sauce, chicken's almost good. Oh, I can smell it, guys. I hope you guys can smell it. Oh, I'll bring it close to you. Can you smell that,
Wow,
guys?
looks
Come
good.
on.
That looks
Right?
good.
So
Wow.
the other things in the sauce that I'm going to be used, I used 1 tablespoon of lime or lemon, whatever you have, it works. That's where you want that little sourness, right? I had some housing sauce, so I used 1 tablespoon of that. Some soya sauce, same thing, 1 tablespoon, and then I used some paprika. My girls don't have the taste of the spiciness yet, so we don't use too much spice. Now I'm gonna add some shrimp. Now my shrimps are already pre-cooked because I made some spring rolls last time. So I had some leftover, some frozen cooked shrimp. So I'm gonna use that. If you were using raw shrimp, you could have started cooking right about the same time as your chicken. Okay, so I just put that in there. So today we got a special thing. I'm like literally cooking. This is the best thing, guys. Look at it and smell it. So now
Wow.
another trick that I've learned. You make a bath for your egg noodles. Now I use the egg noodles. You can also use rice if you like. It is particularly different to however people, I like the rice noodle. So I made a bath. Don't put any boiling water, just as hot as water as you can from your tap, because you're going to be continue cooking this pasta. So it's really, really, really al dente at this point, which is good. If you cook it, some people boil them, they're overcooked unless you just put them at the end. Because yes, it is, you want it to be cooked, but we're going to continue cooking it and giving it a lot of flavor, right? So at this point, you can add some greens and stuff like that. I have a little bit of red bell pepper, so I'm just gonna add it right now. Some people use kale, some people use eggplant, just to make not a lot, just a little bit different crunch. You can also put tofu. Don't use the soft tofu. You want something that's been cooked and smoked, so it's a little bit hardy. Because if it's the fresh tofu, it'll just break apart. It's gonna make a mess. All right. So bring the heat back a little bit up to try to get this heat going. And we're going to add these wonderful egg noodles. Now, of course, you don't add this water. You just take it out. I have washed my hands. Make sure you wash your hands, right? So I'm going to bring the heat up just a little bit. And I'm going to put these great noodles in, all right? Another fun fact that we just learned from is the fish sauce. It's nam pla. right? That's how you pronounce it. I like the fish sauce. The fish sauce is mostly anchovy oils and water and stuff like that. I like anchovies. So I just brought it up. So I'm just gonna bring it up. Just let that drain a little bit. Right? I'm gonna put that right there. So I put about a handful. So for this should give me about 4 people. I have all the ingredients and the specification in my Twitter account. So F Maragoni Photo, you will have it there. Okay. So now we're gonna give a little stir. Right? And now we're gonna add this wonderful sauce that I made, the pad thai sauce. I'm gonna add it in here, okay? So now it is a few minutes to bring this to a heat as high as you can. So I'm gonna bring it up higher by removing this part here to get a nice, beautiful flame. And that's gonna bring the heat up for me, okay? I'm also gonna turn on the fan. I hope it's not too noisy. So you can also use bean sprouts. You're gonna use it twice, a little bit while you're cooking, and a little bit also for garnishing at the end. For garnishing, you will use unsalted peanuts. You just crush it down with the bottom of a pot. Some I've used again like the green onions, or you can use some scallops. Right. So this sauce is gonna finish cooking the egg noodles and give it flavor and coloring with the paprika. Okay. So if you do like some spicy stuff and the family likes spicy stuff, this is where you can add some chili peppers, or some cayenne pepper. You can add it up to now. Okay. You will also need 2 eggs. I'm gonna have to wait a little bit more for this to be able to cook, and some green sprouts are coming because I have to get these flavors going. I don't want to put the eggs in too early because I have to move all of this greatness on the side to be able to put the eggs and cook.
Okay.
You don't crack it just on top.
I see.
I'm gonna have to move this around, okay, and then be able to crack the egg in. So I just wanted to. Also, you wanted to be able to cook this pasta, the egg noodles, because if not, it's going to be too raw. I like al dente. I'm Italian, but in this situation, you don't want it to overcook and too. So I'm going to make sure it doesn't burn. As you saw, it doesn't take too long. It's already ready. The colors of the noodles, it's staying there, and most of the liquid is pretty much gone now. Okay. So I'm going to bring the flame back down. As you saw, it doesn't take too long, okay? So I'm going to move this on the side a little bit. This is another thing. You can use the bean spout, put it on the side, right? And then you're going to roll this over to create kind of like a steaming. So you're going to be steaming this area, okay? So now on the side, I'm going to bring the heat down just a little bit while I get this organized. Because you don't want it to burn. If it's starting to be too hot, that same water that we use for the egg noodle, you could just put a little bit just to be able to bring moisture back in and so it doesn't dry. So now I'm going to crack these 2 eggs right here. Oops, I got an eggshell in there. That's okay. It's called calcium. It's good for you. There you go. I'll get the other egg out. Okay. So don't start cooking it too fast. Just let it raise on the side. While that's there, I'm just gonna add a little bit of salt on the eggs, a little bit of salt everywhere. Now I have some ground fresh pepper, just a few. It's almost like making breakfast. So a lot of Thai people do eat this. In Thailand, they do eat this in breakfast. Again, they have. So then you just start mixing your egg. A little bit like that. You just want to kind of like make it scrambled and you don't want it to burn. All right. Mix, 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 mix. And then what you're going to do is you're going to fold everything back. Right. that I just, remember I did the opposite. Now I'm folding it back. So I'm putting all this hot pasta, noodle, shrimp, chicken. Now you mix, mix, mix. If more you mix, less chances of your food to burn on your wok, okay? Bring it up to separate the noodles. I'm gonna bring the heat down a little bit because you don't want it to burn. It does not take long for your wok to generate so much heat to burn, all right? And then, you know what? And this is ready. So I'm gonna give it just a few seconds. I'm gonna get a plate. I'm gonna bring the heat down a little bit more. I'm gonna get one of my plates here or a bowl. I like to use a plate because that way you can plate it right in the middle. And Daisy, you can text the little one saying it's ready. I like to use the tongs a lot. I find it's a little bit better to plate and easier to look. I'm just gonna put it right in the middle. So you're trying to get as much of the noodles, some of the chicken, right? So you can put the chicken on top like that, a few of the shrimps, right? So the recipe that I have does make about 4 people. Like in the blue zone, you want to reach your 80%, right? So now with this, you are gonna add a few of the toppings here. So a little bit of peanuts, dried, unsalted peanuts, a little bit of greens, a little bit of the bean sprouts right there, right? And then a little lime on the side, and then you go. So this is what it is with the lime, the peanuts, the Brussels sprout, and this is a chicken and shrimp pad thai. There's a thing about the Thailand culture is that there's a lot of their whole food is about sharing. So when you go to a restaurant, you don't order for yourself, you order for the table. So you're gonna order the pad thai or this soup, and it's gonna be brought in the middle, and you're gonna be doing the sharing thing. And that is one thing that we do at our house, not just when we do pad thai. Any meals, we have bigger bowls, we put all the food on the bowls and we put on the table. And it's the sharing because then you take what you want and you're not being served. You take what you want and you take what you like.